faithfully delivering value, interpreting great books from around the globe. Hello, this is Sally's Book Club. Today we're exploring the book titled Evolution's Bite, subtitled Teeth, Diet, and the Story of Human Origins. Do you know what trace ancient animals left most abundantly on Earth? The answer is their teeth. On average, for every set of ancient animal remains archaeologists uncover, they find hundreds to thousands of teeth. Teeth are the hardest part of an animal's body, far tougher than bones. Composed mainly of minerals with small amounts of water and organic material, they preserve remarkably well through geological ages with minimal compositional change. By studying fossilized teeth of ancient creatures and early humans, we can understand what our ancestors ate in prehistoric times. The author Peter Ungar is a renowned American paleoanthropologist and evolutionary biologist, formerly at Johns Hopkins University Medical School and Duke University Medical Center, and now chair of anthropology and director of environmental dynamics at University of Arkansas. Ungar's primary research focuses on how daily diet influenced human evolution. This book examines ancestral dietary shifts through fossil teeth, tracing humanity's development through eating habits, and exploring lessons from our forebears' teeth and diets. We'll now unpack the book's main content through three key questions. Now, first, how did animal teeth evolve? Second, how do we understand ancient diets through fossil teeth? Third, what drove changes in human teeth, and how did this advance human evolution? All right, let's begin with the first question. How did animal teeth evolve? Humans and animals rely on teeth to chew food. But in evolutionary history, teeth first appeared not for chewing, but for hunting. 500 million years ago, pioneering fish evolved simple teeth from jawbones, like giant steel spikes protruding to grab, bite, and pierce other sea creatures. Renowned evolutionary biologist Richard Dawkins argues teeth emerged from an evolutionary arms race, granting predatory fish dominance through enhanced feeding. After fish moved onto land, reptiles kept similar tooth structures. Their teeth got sturdier, cone-shaped, called conical teeth, whether spike-like or conical. Both fish and reptiles have pointy teeth, great for catching prey, but upper and lower teeth don't fit together well, so they can't crush food, just swallow it whole, leading to poor nutrient absorption. And about 200 million years ago, mammals came along. Teeth just for hunting weren't enough, because mammals need tons of calories to keep a steady body temperature. To fully grab energy from food, their teeth evolved to chew, smashing food up fine to absorb nutrients way better. From tiny bats under 3 grams to massive blue whales weighing nearly 200 tons, chewing is a survival superpower for all mammals. By chewing to get nutrients, mammals can generate their own body heat. Plus, with thick fur, they can survive even in icy, snowy places. The earliest chewing teeth are called tribosphenic teeth. Mo means grinding, and tribosphenic teeth are also known as tritubercular teeth. As the name suggests, unlike primitive teeth with just one cusp, each tooth here has 3 cusps, upper ones shorter, forming a dip in the middle. Lower teeth cusps are longer, fitting into the upper dip like wooden wedges, kind of like a mortar and pestle for grinding herbs. This setup not only grinds food but also tears and cuts it. Many early mammals had tribosphenic teeth, and all modern mammal teeth evolved from them. But tooth shapes got more complex, mainly incisors, canines, and molars, or front teeth, fangs, and grinders. Depending on diet, different teeth types dominate. For instance, rabbits and squirrels have strong incisors, perfect for gnawing carrots, fruits, or cracking nutshells. Lions and tigers have sharp canines, great for meat, slicing tough animal tissue into bits. Giraffes and zebras have powerful molars, easily grinding coarse fibers in plants and grass. Oh, and eating isn't just about teeth. The whole mouth has adapted with 2 key changes. First, animals' lower jaws evolved. Initially, animals' lower jaws could only move up and down. But to grind food better, muscles were reorganized, and the jaw evolved to move forward, backward, left, and right. Second, animals evolved a soft palate. Open your mouth. The part behind the upper teeth is the hard palate, and further back near the throat, it's softer, called the soft palate. At first, there was only a hard palate, no soft palate. Since their trachea and esophagus were connected, food or water could enter the trachea, causing choking. The soft palate solved this problem. When our mouth contains food, the soft palate automatically covers the trachea to prevent choking. We've covered the book's first question. Fish first evolved teeth to hunt other animals, and mammals evolved more complex tooth types to chew food and absorb heat better. Oh. Different animals have different teeth, working with jaw, soft palate, and other oral structures to grind food well. Growing good teeth is all about eating efficiently. So how do we figure out what ancient creatures ate through fossil teeth? Now, let's dive into the book's second question. Scientists mainly use three methods, starting with observing tooth shape. As early as the early 19th century, French naturalist Georges Cuvier noted that herbivores have flatter teeth than carnivores. Flat teeth grind tough plants, while sharp teeth tear meat. For instance, reconstructed fossils show T-Rex teeth are sharp, so they likely ate meat, while herbivores like Brontosaurus and Brachiosaurus had blunter teeth. Tooth shape can evolve even within species. Our ancestors' teeth evolved to suit meat eating as they transitioned from Dryopithecus to Australopithecus. Dryopithecus lived around 10 million years ago in African rainforests. Their evolution to Australopithecus marks the first step from ape to human. Dryopithecus had robust molars for chewing forest fruits and tender leaves, whereas Australopithecus had smaller molars but prominent incisors and canines, ideal for cutting and crushing meat. However, relying solely on tooth shape can't precisely reveal what these ancient apes actually ate. Because animals evolve some less commonly used functions for survival, they're like backup weapons in a warehouse, giving more options when needed. It's like, for 350 days a year, you can survive on veggies, and tooth shape might seem trivial, but in the remaining 15 days, if you must eat meat to live, then teeth capable of cutting meat become your survival trump card. Australopithecus teeth appear better suited for meat eating, perhaps just an evolutionary secret weapon. In reality, whether they actually ate meat frequently is questionable. So, British biologist Alan Walker thought of observing the microscopic structure of fossil teeth. Food leaves very tiny scratches and pits on them. Studying these scratches and pits is the second method to determine an animal's diet during its life. Walker first studied the African hyrax, a small mammal that looks like a mole. There are two types of hyrax in Africa, one called the bush hyrax and the other the rock hyrax. They look very similar, almost identical. The difference is, bush hyraxes love eating tender leaves, while rock hyraxes prefer grass. Using electron microscopy, Walker found that bush hyrax teeth have smoother enamel surfaces, while rock hyrax teeth have many micro scratches. This is because grass often contains trace amounts of silica, particles just a few to hundreds of microns in diameter, but very hard, leaving numerous fine scratches on teeth. So, grass-eating rock hyraxes end up with micro scratches on their teeth. In 1978, Walker published his findings in a renowned science journal, proposing the use of micro scratches to study ancient creatures and early human teeth. Take the earlier mentioned Dryopithecus and Australopithecus. Dryopithecus fossil teeth surfaces are smoother, indicating a more monotonous diet of easy-to-chew foods like tree fruits and tender leaves, and whereas Australopithecus teeth surfaces have much more complex scratches. With scratches in all directions and various pits, it shows they consumed foods of different textures, many quite hard on teeth, like tough plants, roots, and small animal bones. And micro scratches on Australopithecus fossil teeth surfaces vary greatly across different regions and time periods. This shows Australopithecus kept experimenting with different foods. The third method to understand animal diets is carbon isotope analysis. Naturally, there are three carbon isotopes, C12, C13, and C14, key components in plant structures. Different plants have distinct ratios of these carbon isotopes. For example, in Africa millions of years ago, rainforest trees and savanna grasses had different isotope levels. When animals or humans eat these plants, the carbon integrates into their bodies, leaving telltale ratios in bones and teeth. Tooth studies show Australopithecus had more carbon from savanna grasses than Dryopithecus, either from directly eating plants or consuming grass-eating animals. Moving on, we've covered the book's second question: three core methods to determine ancient diets from fossil teeth: examining shape, analyzing microscratches, and carbon isotope testing. End quote. These methods reveal our ancestors ate more meat and diverse foods during evolution, driving dental adaptations. So, what drove these dental and dietary shifts, and how did they fuel human evolution? Part 3 addresses this. Ultimately, environment is the hidden driver behind these changes. As noted, Dryopithecus had robust molars for forest fruits and leaves, while descendant Australopithecus developed stronger incisors and canines for meat cutting. Archaeologists theorize global drought millions of years ago turned forests into sparse grasslands. On the savanna, some Dryopithecus faced fruit scarcity. They adapted to new foods like meat, triggering dental evolution. Environment acted like a giant filter, preserving only the most adaptable. However, archaeologists still debate how early humans obtained meat. Some archaeologists believe our earliest ancestors mastered advanced hunting techniques. For instance, Australian scientist Raymond Dart analyzed animal fossils near Australopithecus remains and found many fractured bones suggesting heavy impacts. Thus, he argued Australopithecus weren't like Dryopithecus. They were killers who violently beat prey to death and dismembered them. But other archaeologists hold different views, suggesting our ancestors might have been scavengers. After predators left, they'd quietly scavenge bones, smash them with tools, suck out marrow, and gnaw leftover meat scraps. Regardless of interpretation, heavy meat consumption drove human evolution. Meat's rich nutrients boosted brain development, increased cranial capacity, and altered intestines and teeth. This happened because expanding brains demanded massive energy. To compensate, the body rationed energy to other organs. Intestines shortened, enabled by fire use, because roasted meat and roots digest easier than raw, and cooked food is less taxing on teeth. So, ancestors didn't need such powerful teeth, yet Australopithecus didn't immediately lose bite force. Some descendants even developed stronger jaws. For example, one Australopithecus descendant branch called Paranthropus boisei, nicknamed Nutcracker Man, had much wider jaws than modern humans. Their trapezoidal faces housed massive teeth similar to modern gorillas, functioning like industrial clamps with incredible bite force. When first discovered in the 1950s, scientists believed they cracked hard nuts effortlessly, hence the Nutcracker Man name. But microscratch studies revealed Paranthropus boisei were omnivores like Australopithecus. They evolved hyper-adaptive teeth to chew tough bark and branches during food shortages. But Paranthropus boisei didn't become our ancestors, otherwise our faces would be twice as wide. The lineage that evolved into modern humans was Homo habilis, followed later by Homo ergaster and Homo erectus. Their jaws were still wider than ours, with larger teeth since foraging and hunting required strong bite force to survive. Around 11,600 years ago, early humans in the Fertile Crescent began cultivating barley, wheat, and domesticating livestock, transitioning from primitive society to agricultural civilization. If primitive humans ate a natural buffet, agricultural age folks started eating home-cooked meals. It was precisely this home cooking that triggered three dental changes. First change, human teeth started getting sick. Archaeologists found increasing cavities in fossil teeth. Studies of American fossils show agricultural societies had 5 times more cavities than hunter-gatherers. The reason? Rising carbohydrate intake, corn, wheat, rice, which feeds bacteria in dental plaque. These bacteria produce lactic acid that erodes teeth, causing cavities. Post-industrial revolution, refined sugars like sucrose turned cavities into a dental disaster. Refined sugar helps bacteria stick to teeth, making acid production and decay faster. Second change, human teeth wore down more. Compared to prehistoric fossils, early agricultural teeth show more micropits and severe wear, mainly because grains were ground on sandy millstones. Grit mixed into food left tiny pits on teeth. Third change, human teeth shrank. Some suggest smaller teeth, reduced contact area with food, lowering cavity risk. As teeth shrank, human jaws also narrowed.
Maximum jaw width is genetically limited, but actual width depends on diet.
During growth, chewing hard foods causes microfractures in the jawbone. Then the body repairs itself through repeated microfractures and healing, jaws widen. But agricultural diets offered fewer hard foods, causing jawbones to narrow. Yet jaws narrowed faster than teeth shrank, leaving inadequate space for all teeth, causing misalignment or painful wisdom teeth. While early dental changes advanced humanity, post-agriculture shifts, cavities, wear, shrinkage, all harm us. Root cause, genes can't keep pace with environmental shifts. After all, heavy refined sugar consumption spans just 500 years, too brief for adaptation. We haven't evolved cavity-resistant genes. That concludes the book's third point. Environment drives human and dental change. Expanding diets to include meat accelerated brain development. Our adaptable bodies and teeth enabled progress, but also brought woes, like cavities from excess carbs. We've now covered the core content of Evolution's Bite. Teeth are unique, hard enough to survive millennia underground, yet vulnerable to disease. Our best defense? Diligent brushing. How to brush correctly. Many scrub aggressively, thinking it cleans crevices.
Actually, brushing's key role is removing lactic acid to starve plaque bacteria, so thoroughness matters more than force.
Cover every tooth, even gums, and brush longer. Night brushing trumps morning. Bacteria wreak havoc during sleep. For misalignment, exercise teeth, especially in childhood when jaws develop most critically. But overprotective parents avoid hard foods, depriving kids' jaws of microfracture healing cycles, leading to narrow jaws, misalignment, overbites, or double teeth. So letting kids eat more hard foods appropriately helps them develop strong teeth. All right, Evolution's Bite. That concludes our interpretation. Reading notes are below the audio. See you next time.